Yes, and we are live. Thank you. Welcome to another episode of Transformation Thursday. Today, my guest is Nino Gedevanishvili. I did really practice on that name a couple of times. Um, I've known Nino for quite some time now. She really became a good friend. Um, and I've always addressed her by Nino. I never had to use her last name. and I I had to practice difficult Georgian names. But, I am super excited, Nito, that you're here. Um, yeah, I will give you a moment to introduce yourself. But Nino is she's the owner of her real estate company and brokerage company. She's also one of the founders of the National Association of Georgian Real Estate. Is that correct?
Real estate, yes.
Yeah. So, okay, I got that right. Um, she's had some funny stories about how she started in this business, how people brought guns and mountains of cash to buy property like years ago. So, yeah, I'm really curious about well, what we're going to talk about. Um, I am Bas Lepesk. I'm an executive mindset coach. I do these transformation Thursdays once a week on Thursday, of course. And, Nino, I really want to thank you for being here and give you the opportunity to introduce yourself.
Thank you, Bas. Thank you for inviting me. I feel really honored, and I'm also very excited. I'm interested what's gonna happen during this 1 hour and how our conversation will go. Regarding myself, I'm the owner of Gedevanishvili and Co. And It's real estate brokerage company. I run this company for 10 years. We do sales, we do property appraisal, and we also do property management. And I'm also involved in lots of social activities regarding real estate. As Bas already told you, I'm one of the founders of National Real Estate Association, and we all stand to transform a real estate culture here in Georgia. And so far we are succeeding in that, and I'm really excited and happy about that. And for those who would like to reach me after this podcast, you can just put in Google gedevanishvili.ge, like my last name, and .ge, and you will see full information about the company, contact numbers, emails, everything. And so you can contact me if you're interested in real estate, investing in real estate, finding out more what's happening in Georgia in real estate, and etc.
Okay. I
Thank you.
will, of course, put in the details in the notes so people can reach you. If the name is too difficult, you can reach me, and I will direct you to Nino as well. It's not a problem. Um, yeah, Nino, when we did our like a pre talk for this um, LinkedIn Live, you mentioned like how people would come with guns and cash to your first deals, and I was like, wow, not wow, but like it's like, it's such a different world. What is it you can say about that? How was that?
Yes, when I'm in real estate for 20 years. And When I started, I was just graduating university, and it was like that, my friend. It was just time we country was recovering after the war and after this collapse in the Soviet Union and everything, and it was hard times. And she's reaching me and telling me, my aunt has this real estate brokerage company, and would you like to come? And then I asked her what I have to sell, and she said apartments. And I said, okay, let's try. Why not? And I went. I had an interview. I liked them. They explained me everything, and So it felt like, Bas, that from the first day I just fell in love with real estate, and
Uh-huh.
it felt like it's what I want to do in my life. It's real estate, constructions, developments, dealing with clients, relationships, and everything. And but I had no, I didn't know what was happening behind all that. And it was time when we had, I think, one bank, and on deal closings people were, and I'm there is this young girl, and when first time I got in a meeting like that, they came with this cash on the table with guns. I a bit got afraid, and then I said, okay, I guess it's how everything works, and let's do. And here after, and then things, of course, changed in a couple of years with the government change, and now we have escrow accounts, everything. I mean, you can register property just in one day here, and so. But this beginning was a bit scary and challenging.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I can imagine. And I mean, were you like really like counting money when you were selling the apartment, or was it
Yes,
like
you was counting money like this, and there was a issue. Maybe those the dollars would be artificial, and you was writing down the numbers of that, and people were signing, and it was just, yes, and it's also it was also risky be around with all those monies. And I had couple meetings. It's like when you're in a movies, you saw you going down in a club somewhere. So yes, things like that were happening. Yes.
okay? And then you walk out with suitcases full of money.
Well, yes.
And was it just curious? Was that Georgian currency or like dollars or?
No, it was dollars.
Oh,
Until now, yes, mostly yes. Real estate goes in, when you ask me the price for something, I'm answering in dollars. Of course,
okay,
then you pay when transaction happens. You pay in laris, Georgian laris, but the price what I'm giving you, it will be in dollars.
okay, okay, okay. So thank you for sharing that story and being this cowboy girl back in the Wild
Thank you
West.
for asking. I
And
went back somewhere, and it was now it's really fun talking
yeah,
about.
now it's really fun. In hindsight, you can look at these things and be like, we were crazy back then.
Yeah.
Something similar. When I was like trading, like what was this 25 years ago? We would borrow like positions from pension funds, like billions of euros, and we wouldn't give any collateral against it. Now if there's like, if on a position like that there's like what 20,000 euro difference between the collateral that's supposed to be there and the collateral that's actually there, there's like all kinds of automated systems that like balance it out. And but back then it was like, we just do whatever we do. And we were like, as the bank, we were like trusted on our blue eyes and stuff. But of course, it was already changing before the financial crisis. But after that, it definitely got uh, got changed. But yeah. So what we talk in this LinkedIn Live is we talk about turning points in life. And so, what is like, if there is a defining turning point, like big or small in your life, what would it be for you, or in your
Um,
career, or even, yeah.
Yes, very interesting question. Yes, defining moments. And first was, I already talked about that when I said yes to that offer. And actually, usually, I do that. I mean, people offer me something, there is some opportunity, and I'm just saying yes. And so it opens me always these new things, and I'm more or less open to the change. And I'm really grateful of that. Yes, when I said to my friend, And second turning point, what was in my life, it's when I started my company 10 years ago. So I was working for this big Georgian bank, which had this real estate direction. And I was kind of last year thinking about my company, but still, you are tempted. You are working in a big organization. You have this salary, insurance, everything. You have this stability, and it's kind of difficult to say no and jump. And start something you want to start. And what happened in my life was that my department was closed, and in one day I stayed without job. And it was challenging at first. I was thinking, I mean, what I'm going to do now? How, when, if can I be able to find a job? And then this came to my head. Okay, you wanted to start your own company and just go and do it. And on a third day, my company was registered, and I started. And At the beginning, it all this was very challenging. I was working for 24 hours just to build everything. But it was really great. It's a great, one of the greatest things what happened in my life. And Now when I look back on it, it's like, yes, we have to be flexible. We have to just saying yes to the things and use those things, what happens, those changes as a possibilities, opportunities, and it works. At least in my life, it worked.
Yeah. I mean, let's say if you would have still, you would not have been like, oh, and I'm not, like you would have not have lost your job.
Mhm.
What would have been likely to happen?
I think I'm until now would be working in that company, maybe in a
Mhm.
higher position, but still be working for someone, and wouldn't have this freedom what I have, this freedom of choice, what to do, what to develop. I mean, or when to take the vacation, or I mean, and not waiting someone's okay when you want to create something. And so This is what I'm thinking, and I'm very grateful of this rapid change in my life.
Yeah. So it's like, I'm sure when it happened, it felt like a curse, and it ended up being a blessing.
Yes, yes, I agree with
Yeah.
you. It
Yeah.
was exactly like that. Yes.
Yeah. So, I kind of answered my question myself. He's like, he's like, would you rather not had that experience, or would you? Are you happy you had to go through that?
Actually, yes, I'm happy I went through that experience. First of all, those changes uh, kind of teach you something, and after every change, you grow up, you get more mature, and you just step out and when you step out and start something, there is no then way back. You just have to go forward and develop and become um, better, and get produce better results. And it's how it works, and in what I believe.
Yeah. And did it also, like, I mean, if you the way you approach your your business now or your life now, can you still tap out of that experience like 10 years ago?
um, you mean just to repeat that experience?
Yeah, or if like something happens that that you can use the knowledge from that moment to
Mhm.
really, go through certain smaller turning points much easier, much quicker.
What? Yes, I got what you're asking. Yes, actually, what I took from that experience and what I will use in if something like that happen in the future, just not to worry so much what's happening and don't feel like mm, devastated or like that, or what an awful thing happened to me, and just be sad and be in a depression. Just yes, I will look those changes very very uh, easily, won't worry too much, and will be focused on just on actions, just doing actions and be there.
Okay, great. Are there like, can you also like use that in like say your personal life?
Yes, I'm using the, yes, I can use the same thing in a personal life. In a personal life also, um, what I look, yes, you are, something happens with your relationship, and usually with me you will find a better one, or I mean not better one, but more closer what you're looking for.
Mhm.
And I don't think that it's, um, we should worry too much about those changes. Things happen for good.
Okay. Um, have you like in the course of your business, have
Hmm.
you had like significant, oh well, I mean a turning point in itself is significant, but have you had like yeah, like significant turning points in your business?
So significant, yes, of course.
Mhm.
Throughout 10 years, lots of things happened, and yes, the most significant turning point, what was this COVID.
Yeah.
And yes, COVID hit, and it was, yes. For 3 months we were closed, and in that situation also I accepted the situation the way it was. And um, uh, what helped me was I had this savings, and of course each company has these savings, yes, and there's money for such kind of days, and this helped me to go through the difficult times. But usually, if not talking about COVID and things like that happens rarely, I believe that I usually, I'm aware of my business, how it goes, what new things are coming up, what's happening, reading reports, talking with professionals, and more or less I get those signs what's gonna happen, what's gonna change. And I'm always trying to be prepared for that change. Sometimes it happens that I know that some change is coming, and I'm doing some project or something, and so I'm ready and prepared for that. Or sometimes I know it's coming, and it's not like this boom COVID hit, and so I have some time to somehow to manage those changes.
Okay.
Mhm.
So what was the let's say, you know, earlier we were talking about the curse versus the blessing. You know, what was the curse blessing out of COVID for you?
Out of COVID, I apologize.
No
I
problem.
dog and little dog, and sometimes usually she's very quiet, and sometimes she gets crazy, and I think she's doing okay now. Sorry.
No worries.
So I'm at home, and I had no any space to keep her. She will be even worse. So, Bas, you asked me something, and because of her, I lost this.
Yeah, so the curse, we talked about the curse versus blessing comparison when you lost your job and you it was the curse, and then moving into or creating your own business in the end, the blessing. What was the curse versus blessing for you in COVID and in your business?
Blessing, what was in my business, was it's like we started to do this videos of the apartments. We started to showing via Skype, Zoom, and it was something new. And they were sitting home, and we were going and showing those apartments, and it became kind of easier, not wasting time too much, sending videos. And if the client doesn't like something, just you don't waste time to take him or her to see the apartment. This was that. Nothing major change that was blessing after forum. I can't remember.
Okay. Have you like sold the apartments just like by showing them on like your, let's say, your iPhone camera or something?
Yes, it happened. Not sold selling. We did rentals through like that, not
Okay,
selling.
okay,
Yes,
okay, okay. It's cool. I
it's
mean,
still
I had
interesting.
a friend of mine. She sold her apartment to with a guy, and he wanted to buy everything that was in the apartment, like the linen, the cup, everything, and it all went by video. And it was just like, okay, that happens apparently these days. But okay, and I guess that makes it like easier for you to sell or share with a bigger audience, right?
It's easier to sell. It's easier to share bigger audience. It's easier also to save your time. When person sees this video, everything is given there, yes, and there is no need to go there and showing, and maybe they won't like, and so it's more chance. So they are more prepared when you are when say, oh, I like this apartment on video, and let's go and see, and more chance to get the deal rather
Yeah.
than, and you save your time and clients time also.
I mean, I get that you really get the more serious
Mhm.
people
Yes.
when they actually come and visit.
Mhm.
They might be much closer to buy than otherwise.
Yes.
Um, we also already talked a little bit about change, and I'd like to take it into the next section of this LinkedIn Live, and like, you know how like how do you recognize that you, let's say, in your life, that you're dealing with change, that you're resisting change? um,
How I recognize is, I feel uncomfortable.
mhm,
Then I go in procrastination
mhm.
because I feel uncomfortable. Like, okay, I'll do it this tomorrow, next week, and things just, yes, of course, never happen. And Now what I do not to go in that. Is and usually is mostly it's fear of failure, that I will fail, and it's also I worry about looking bad. Something won't happen the way, and I won't look well around people. And now I'm aware of those fears, and usually what I do now to overcome that resistance is I'm writing down that, Nino, what are you afraid? And I'm writing, if I fail, if it won't work, or answers I'll give. And then it sometimes becomes kind of funny because, oh, are you afraid of that? I
Yeah.
was like, okay, let's go. And then I put those things just in my calendar, and it depends on what I'm working. It can be in a calendar for 1 month. I'm choosing day, time, everything. And then I'm really committed and I'm trying to be in integrity and fulfill that things. If they are not in my calendar, they are somewhere out there someday. So this really what helps.
Yeah, and this is what I was reading a book like the 2 days ago, and it said that 90% of the CEOs, their biggest fear is fear of failure, which I thought, which I mean, I know the role of the fear of failure, but I wasn't really expecting it to be that like that was their biggest fear,
Mm.
but also. You know what I ask my clients a lot of times is like, how often did it what you feared really happened?
Mhm.
And it hardly ever happens, and it's if something happens, it's always a much smaller version of what they anticipated. And most of the time, they are acknowledged for the courage that they take,
Mhm.
or for the decisions that they make, or which is really like you can't. I don't know how you see that, but like when you do these things that you fear, you kind of get the opposite of what you like fearing.
Yes, actually, yes, I agree with you. This about CEOs was very, very interesting. I didn't know that.
Hmm.
Um, and um, yes, I mean, what I write down there, I think it's the worst case scenario. What could happen, and mm, nothing like that ever happened, and. Everything happens in other way, in a different way, and it's always some new opportunity, something interesting. And now I'm really trying not to resist those changes and say yes, go and just work and be open.
Yeah, I mean, like for myself, like sometimes, I think, oh, if I do this, or if I'm going to say this, people will laugh at me or make fun of me. But the the actual thing that I'm getting is like compliments. It's like, oh wow, it's great that you do that, or great that if you try that, or like, and then it's just then I don't know, and then I don't know how to deal with the compliment. But it's just like, yeah, it's so um funny, or like to notice these mind fucks, it's like I mean I've shared about this before, but I took on acting classes, and it took me like I took me 20 years to go to acting classes, and just to be afraid to look silly or stupid. And then, like, my teacher, we're in a group, and she was like, oh, you're great, you're amazing, you're like everything. And it's like, what? What? Well, also, like, all the fear that I had just disappeared in the first lesson, or the
Yes,
first class.
first
uh
class, yes.
it's really yeah, really, it's funny. And also, like, that even, like, you do certain things and this, but then there's still things that keep pulling you back, or
Mhm.
like, uh yeah, so just you peel the onion layer by layer.
Yes. See, when you invited me, I said, yes, I'm coming. And then they start, oh, what's going to happen? What there will be problem with the internet? What if a dog barks? What, I mean, yes, she got crazy yesterday, and just I apologized and nothing major happened. Yes. And So then I just stop myself, just stop and go and do and fulfill what you promised, do what you want to do. And I really wanted to come here and be here. And so, yes, I get, and I worried about that for first 3 minutes when we started. That's it. And so I guess we worry about that 2, 3 minutes in life.
Yeah. And I mean, this is not the Oprah Winfrey show, right? You know, if that was the case, I would have like put your dog in the best hotel in town and like all
Yes,
that.
yes,
But that's that's like that's totally fine. You know, that's what life, yeah, going life is as well. You know, things might
yes,
happen. People have dropped off before, and that's totally fine. And they came back, and that's it's not a problem.
yes.
So you know what is like I really love the strategy you have, like when it's like I just write down what I fear, and then I read it back and I'm like, really, this is what I'm afraid of.
Yes,
And then
yes,
it's like,
throw
yeah,
away. Yes.
it's like so, but do you think that sometimes, well, we tend to resist all kinds of change, the positive and the negative change. Even we want the positive change, we still don't like really like to change. We want everything the same. It's like we let's say we want to be successful, but then when we are, we're like, oh, now I have to show up, or I have to maintain the success, or it's like, so kind of want to we don't really differentiate between positive and negative change. We just don't want change. But do you believe that um, resistance to change can be beneficial sometimes?
Um, um, it's a good question. I've never thought about that resistance to change, if it can be beneficial. Um, it depends, I think, what you choose. I mean, if you choose to do something, then you go and do, or if you choose to resist and don't go, or say yes to some kind of possibility, or start the project because you have this resistance, you have to be complete with that. I mean, I choose that I'm not doing that, and just don't worry about that too much.
Hmm.
Um, and if you have this in yourself, then you want to say yes, and just go and say yes, and just go and do it. If it's too much in your head, this is what I'm thinking.
Okay. Yeah.
If it,
I,
if I expressed it clearly, if it's clear.
I think so. And I mean, it's not like I mean, I ask this question quite often in this
Mhm,
in this setting, uh, but it's not. I have not really uh, have like a clear answer for
mhm,
myself, and it's also not really, I think, a question that can be answered. Or when would resistance to change be beneficial?
mhm,
Maybe if things are would be going too fast for something, for someone, then ch- it might be like wise to resist it temporarily, or
mhm.
to slow it down a little bit. But I think in the end it's unavoidable.
Okay, yes, it makes sense what you're saying. Yes, I agree with you. Maybe in that situations you are going too fast. And also, what I was thinking, for example, you want to start a project which you just can't afford financially, yes,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
you have to wait a little bit, just somehow get this base and then jump. And yes, actually, sometimes it can be beneficial what you're saying. Yes, I agree with you.
Okay.
Depends the situation.
Yeah. Um, but yeah, when there's always like this, there's always a desire to change, and then also this resistance. So it is like it balances back and forth. But I think like the direction of change is and at the same time, everything is constantly changing around us. So it's almost kind of like funny that we're like so resisting it in the
Mhm.
first place. um but okay. um yeah, taking it into the next like section,
Okay.
like when you look at like turning points, changing, you know, and creating the future. What is it that you want to create for your future, for your business, for your clients, for yourself? Um, and what is a if you let's say if you could create a turning point in your future, what would it be? Um, Lots of questions, lots of things, but feel free to pick any of the things that I said.
Mhm. At the moment, what I'm creating and working on is I'm in real estate for 20 years, and I have this experience. I went through so many trainings, transformational course, everything, and it feels like I want to share this experience with someone to kind of uh, and what I'm doing at the moment and what's coming is um, I'm I want to become trainer. Actually, I do a couple trainings for the association, and now I'm working to get this uh, special certification
Mhm.
for Real Estate Business Institute, and it has steps. So I completed two steps. There are two more steps, and I will start reading for the real estate people. So their trainings. It will takes time, and I'm working for that. And also, I'm really excited that it's coming. And in a company, I want what I always wanted to create more working places where people come, work, make money, that will support their future families and so on. And at this current moment, I'm hiring new people. So for maybe someone's watching us, and if you are interested in real estate and if you love real estate, because if you don't love real estate, it's very tough business to work, and if you don't love it, it's like you it's better to go and try something else. So you can contact us, send your CVs, and so we are happy to mm, uh, consider you as a part of our company. This is second thing. And what's third thing I'm working on, Bas, it's I want we don't have this consultancy consulting direction.
Yeah.
And lots of foreigners are coming and they are interested, yes, what they want to buy, how to buy, I mean, can they buy land, can they buy apartment, what are the taxes and everything. And so we are working on that, for people who are not aware what's happening in a real estate in Georgia.
Okay, that sounds like a lot, and now
Yes, it's like
amazing. And how do I say that? How do you maintain your let's say your mental well-being and your balance in all this?
with all. I have um, before I was working 24 hours. And all I was doing is work, and sometimes, and now it's mm, I work from 10 until 5:30 I'm in the office, and when I come, I have my plan, another plan. I'm reading book, I'm walking dog, and it's in my calendar, and I'm not opening my emails anymore and answering these calls from the clients. I know that I completed my job, and now I have to take care of my personal life. I have special times in my calendar for socializing on Fridays and Saturdays, and so it's everything. I created that. Everything is in my calendar, and it brings me some peace of mind. I know what I'm doing, and it's and of course uh, I'm taking dance classes. I'm twice a week I go to Pilates, and so I'm working on that to have this peace and structure in it. Sometimes
Okay,
I'm
okay, sure.
yeah,
Huh?
sometimes I'm out of integrity, but still I'm getting back.
I mean, that's like all of this. It's like a work in progress.
It's
It's
yes,
like when there's always the next level, there's always the next layer, there's always like, uh, yeah, if there's nothing more to peel or there's no more new layer or there's like you come to completion or something, which is in a human life, not the greatest alternative. Let me put it like that. It's like, yeah, it's either this or death.
yes. And I missed one thing. What I do also, I'm always in personal transformation programs, courses. I use always help of coaches, and so it's also really helps me through my past, what I want to do, and it's very helpful. And I want to admit that we need people like that in our life, coaches, such kind of programs that will help you to overcome your beliefs, your fears, and be more open. And it will help us to achieve what we want to achieve in life.
So, is there like a coach in your life, a guru, a program that really stands out in this moment, or you're looking for the next thing, or
Actually, for 2 years, I was in a transformational program. So I completed. I'm not there anymore, and now I'm in a search of yes, a coach who will support me to fulfill on certain areas of my life, and I really believe in that. We are so much involved in our business, personal life, everything, that we need this at least 1 hour a week with the coach just to clear up, set new plans, new goals, be accountable. And yes, this is what, and this will be actually part of my life also.
I can recommend you a really good coach.
I know.
Nah, I'm
You are
just
really,
kidding.
really
But
great coach.
it's I know, but I mean, I totally agree with you. It's like, um, I've worked with many coaches throughout my whole life, and I've done various programs as well, and we've been in a program together, and it's really, it really, it makes a difference, and you, I mean, the whole self development industry. I mean, it became an industry as well, but there's also like, I think there's really a need for it, and you see that, like, I mean, sometimes I still meet people that are a bit funny about coaches, or it's like it's not for them, it's it's kind of like a shame around it or something, or not why would you spend that kind of money on yourself? um, but it's really an investment, and it really like pays off, and good coaches will give you a good return on your investment.
Yes.
um, and it's not always maybe as tangible. It's like, okay, yeah, I made X amount more, but things become easier, lighter, um, made more in flow, which um, yeah, is, I mean, I worked with a woman in the board of directors of an 18,000 people company, and she, like, at the end of the program, or when we finished, she went from a 70-hour work week to a 50-hour work week. I mean, and being more effective at the same time. So, I mean, how do you quantify that, like, as an ROI? It's like, of course, you can calculate for the hours, but if you take it for the organization, for the people in her family, etc., etc., it's like it's immense.
Yes.
Um,
Yes,
yeah,
I agree with you. Yes, it's very important to have this coach in your life and just to be accountable. And it doesn't matter how many hours to work. It means it matters about how effective you are during those hours. And yes,
exactly.
yes, I agree you with that. It really doesn't matter.
No. Okay. Yeah, where can people reach you when they want to get in touch with you? What they can get in touch with you for? You mentioned you were looking for new staff members, but you feel free to make tremendous uh, promotion for yourself right now.
Thank you, Buzz. So people who want to work with us, people who are interested in selling, buying properties, or people who want to find out more about real estate market and want to invest or wherever in Georgia, yes, you can contact me on my Facebook, Nino Gedevanishvili. I'm on Facebook with this. With my name on the Facebook, or you can go to my website gedevanishvili.ge, and there are all our emails, contact numbers, everything, and you can reach out to us from there.
Okay, good. I mean, I really have fun talking with you, Nino. I think you've been on an amazing journey uh, in an an amazingly developing country. Where how it bounced back, or how it came out of separation from the Soviet Union is quite remarkable. And it's yeah, it's really remarkable. But also your personal story, how you were dealing with guns and money, and like in the like wild west, or
Yes,
uh but yeah, and your personal lessons, they're quite inspirational, and it was lovely to have your dog here as well with us. And yeah, I'm sure there are some dog lovers out there that really like that. I don't dislike it. It's really not a problem. It's just how this is set up, and that's how I like it to be. And sometimes it's perfect, and sometimes it's less than perfect, but it's just like whatever we make it mean. So
yes,
I really want to thank you for your time. um We'll be here next week again with another
same.
guest, and I hope you will tune in then. And I'll say goodbye here to Nino and to all of
And
you watching. And
I wanted to say thank you to you. Do we have time a
yeah,
bit?
of course, of course.
Okay, thank you also, Buzz, inviting me, and I really enjoyed our conversation, really, and. So people who will watch this might take something from this conversation, and I will be very happy. and it's always good to talk to you. And so wish you all the best, good luck, and see you in the
You
next.
too.
Bye.
Okay. Thank you. Bye.